Hey, what's up, everybody? What's up, everybody? This is Charles here from Dreamerspro. This is Charles here from Dreamerspro. I want to welcome you guys to another live today. So I'm going to give you guys a chance to sign in and give everybody a chance to sign in. What's up, everybody? What's up, everybody? How y'all doing? How y'all doing? Make sure when you come in, just please make sure you hit the like button so we get more notifications out. Let's give everybody some time to come in. So we're going to give everybody like a minute and a half. How y'all doing? Make sure you leave any comments. So, guys, I'm going to be going through this topic today. If you guys have any questions, make sure you leave them in the comment section. I'm going to get through as many questions as we can today. So we have as many, we answer as many questions as we can. But it's a pretty serious topic, so I want to get you. I want to definitely talk to you guys about it. Thank you, guys. Let's just give everybody like a minute so people can get into the chat. Hey, what's up, Johnny? Professor Johnny, was good? Was good? I haven't forgotten about your video, man. We're still working on it. So when you come in, just make sure you hit the likes just to get the notifications out. Thank you so much. Let's just wait for like another 30 seconds here, because I want everybody to get in. So let's just give everybody some time to get in. Thank you, guys. What's up, Omar? Mark, what's going on? Alonzo, how you doing, man? Welcome, Alonzo. We need the recipe. Don't worry, we're gonna get. Yeah, I remember your video, man. We got a lot of stuff that we're working on here, so it's kind of hard to get to like individual requests, but we're doing our best. This should be good. Yes. So let's just wait. Let's give everybody like 30 more seconds so people can get in. Get your popcorn, because I got a lot of stuff I want to talk about, especially from last night's game. So I noticed I've been going through these lives a little bit too fast, and people are kind of catching up late. So let's give everybody a chance to get in. We also like sometimes we even let people know like an hour in advance, and still a lot of people miss the live. So let's just give everybody a chance to get in here, and then we'll start. Hey, Tori, what's good? Christopher, what's going on? Up straight one. Clippers are missed. Okay, don't worry. We're going to get to it. Aaron Gordon, don't worry. We're going to get to it. I have a lot that I want to get to today. Okay, people are starting to come in now. Make sure you just hit the like so we get the notifications out. Now, people keep asking me, why do I keep hitting these likes? If you guys know people like Kevin Samuels and these dudes, they say, and other people, they say hit like so it gets more notification. It doesn't add anything to the video, really, just so people can know. So we get more people in here. Hey, Chad, what's going on, man? Hey, Chad, welcome. Big woke. Don't worry, man. We're going to get into it. Okay, Mark. Okay, don't worry. We're almost there. Let's give it 30 more seconds and we'll be good to go. We're going to take our time. I'm going to answer all of your questions. Don't worry. I'm going to answer all of your questions. So I'll do my best to get to that. So 20 more seconds and we'll get started. Who else? Bro, Bolo, what's good, man? What's good? Welcome. HED. I have a challenge sometimes, like reading these names that are not names. It's kind of hard to understand them. Okay, Ocean King, what's good? Adeem, welcome. Okay. All right, so let's get into it. Here. I think we got enough people. Just make sure you hit the like button so more people will keep coming in. So I'm sure more people are going to sign up and join in, because people are just probably busy right now. So let me get into this topic here. I got a lot that I want to discuss today with the Clippers, because I saw the game last night. First of all, let me give you guys my thoughts on that game last night. I saw the game. We were actually live chatting during the game on our Dreamerspro Max platform that you guys are aware of, but I'll let you guys know about that as we go on. So I was watching the game last night, and the first thing that I noticed watching that game, I think all of us noticed, if you saw the game last night, I think it's very clear. The first thing you noticed was that the Nuggets came out and punched the Clippers right in the mouth. They came out, they were quicker to the ball. They were getting all the 50-50 balls. They were definitely pressuring the ball a lot. You could see that they were really attacking the Clippers players, and I think it took some of the players off guard. Now, Coach Ty Lue said that, after the game, he told them like everybody should be on their P's and Q's, be ready for this Denver team. This Denver team is going to come in there hungry, because remember, the Clippers beat the Denver Nuggets on opening week. Remember, I think they started the season playing against, they beat them on opening night, if I'm not mistaken. But they beat the Lakers on opening night, but they played the Denver Nuggets on Christmas Day. So remember, they beat the Denver Nuggets on Christmas Day. So these two teams have met before, and I think the Denver Nuggets, if I'm not mistaken, let me look at this here. I think the Denver Nuggets, they were coming off of a loss. The Denver Nuggets, the Denver Nuggets had won 4 games in a row. So they were coming on a winning streak. So they definitely, I think the Denver Nuggets wanted to get some revenge on the Clippers for the Clippers beating them on Christmas Day. You guys remember? Just make sure you keep in the likes, guys. So I think they just took them out of the game early in the first 2 quarters. I think it took the Clippers some time to kind of understand, like to kind of get their footing, because Denver came out hot. They were making a lot of their shots, and the Clippers were missing a lot of their shots. I got a lot of stuff I want to get to especially in the second half of that game. Then the Clippers kind of recovered in that third quarter. They started playing well. They were able to kind of go on a run. They started to get their feet under them. They were kind of understanding what was going on. And then what happened? They got into that fourth quarter. I think Tyronn Lue at that point, he had in Terrence Mann. I know Terrence Mann was there. I think Luke Kennard was in the game. And then I think Paul George was in the game. I think at this time, Kawhi Leonard was on the bench. Paul George started getting going. Make sure you hit the like button, guys, so we get more people in there. Just make sure you do that if you haven't already. Paul George started to get going. And then all of a sudden, they took him out of the game. And then they brought in Reggie Jackson. And I was saying in the chat, hold on, I'm not understanding this substitution pattern here. PG started warming up, and then Tyronn Lue took him out of the game. That was something I didn't understand. I think it kind of messed up with the lineup. They brought in Reggie Jackson, who, again, is not a very good defender. And all of a sudden, the lead started to get away from them again. Like, they tried to bring it close. It would hit a three, and then it would get away from them again. Another thing I noticed was that the Clippers, especially like in the last 2 to 3 minutes, they really started to struggle with their offense. And I think within those last 2 to 3 minutes, you could see, guys, I think it's clear as day that Reggie Jackson is not the answer for the Clippers as a point guard. He's not the point guard that they need. He couldn't even set up the offense and initiate the offense. You saw Rajon Rondo during timeouts in the sideline talking to dudes. But it's one thing for Rondo to be explaining these things to these guys. It's another thing for them to actually be able to go out there and pick it up. Rondo is smarter than a lot of the players on the Clippers roster. He's just a smarter basketball player. Let's just face it. There's no two ways about it. Another thing was that late in the game, Kawhi Leonard didn't understand what he wanted to do. He would start making a move, jump up in the air, and then at the last minute decide he wanted to pass off the ball. I think he was a little bit too passive. I think it was undecisive. But I think it's just a byproduct of their offense not really running well. That was some of the issues that I noticed about last night's game. But that's not at the heart of the issue that I want to talk about. Let's talk about injuries for a second, because I think the injuries are the number one problem holding this Clipper team back. Listen, in that game last night, we were talking about it during the live chat. There's no way that the Denver Nuggets would have been able to get into their offensive sets so easily if Patrick Beverley was playing that game. Patrick Beverley, what he does is he pressures the ball all the time. He makes it very hard for opposing guards to get into their offensive sets. He's always pressuring the ball. He switches hard. He gets into guys. Yes, sometimes he plays over the edge. Sometimes sometimes he plays over the edge. Sometimes he picks up overzealous fouls because he's being a little bit too overzealous on the defensive side of the floor. We get that. But if you had Patrick Beverley in that game, there's no way in hell that you could see Jamal Murray just kind of trotting up the court, methodically getting into the offense. I don't think that happens. Patrick Beverley, the Clippers are missing Patrick Beverley. I can't even speak to Rajon Rondo right now because he hasn't even played yet. Guys, make sure you hit the like button. All of these questions that you're leaving here, I'm going to answer them. So just keep leaving them, and we're going to get through all of the questions in a bit. So just keep leaving your questions. We're going to get to them. And make sure you hit the like so we get more people in here. There's no two ways about it. They need Patrick Beverley. Now, let's talk about the injury issues that the Clippers have, because they have a lot of injury issues. First of all, Serge Ibaka. Let me just say this right now. There's no way in hell that the Clippers are going to play against the Denver Nuggets in a 7-game series and beat them without Serge Ibaka. It's not going to happen. I was saying it in the live chat yesterday when we were chatting during the game. I said to them, I said, Zubac is not the answer. Ivica Zubac is not skilled enough to defend Nikola Jokic. He's not skilled enough. We saw that last year in the playoffs, and he cooked him. He cooked him and Montrezl Harrell. They're not good enough defenders to be able to defend Nikola Jokic. There's just no two ways about it. If the Clippers think that they're going to go into the playoffs without Serge Ibaka has not played for like 2 weeks now, and somehow go play against the Denver Nuggets and beat that team, it is not happening. You can forget about that. It's not going to happen. There's no two ways to say it. If Serge is in play and the Clippers meet one of these teams, they're not playing. That was the whole reason for them going out to get Serge. But if the guy is not available, then this team is going to struggle. Guys, make sure you hit the likes. We don't have enough likes here because I don't think enough people are seeing the video. So please make sure you do that if you haven't if you haven't already. They need Serge Ibaka. Okay, they need Serge Ibaka. There are no two ways about it. Patrick Beverley. Patrick Beverley has been injured since the All-Star break. Since the All-Star break, Patrick Beverley has been injured. This was one of the major reasons. This was one of the major problems that the Clippers are having. They traded away Lou Williams. He's gone. Now you have Terrence Mann getting some good minutes. Terrence Mann, he's a good player. He's still developing, but he's not a veteran. He's only a second-year guy. He's only been in the league for 2 years. Like, this is his second season. The guy's still developing. You're not going to just drop him into that role and expect him to be able to play like a starting point guard. They need Patrick Beverley. There's no two ways about it. They're missing his defense. They're missing his intensity, the fact that he's able to rile guys up and keep guys locked into the game. It's not the same thing when you're on the sideline and guys are coming back, after a timeout and you're trying to rile guys up. It's a completely different thing because you can only talk to guys. But when you're on the court, you're competing, you're playing hard. That can actually have a tangible impact. With him off the floor, it doesn't happen. So I've spoken about Patrick Beverley. And I've spoken about I've spoken about what's his name, Serge Ibaka. Another player is Paul George. Paul George again is in and out of the lineup. This is more of what we had last season. If you guys remember, Paul George I think missed like 20 plus games in the regular season. He missed games at the beginning of the season. If you guys remember well, Paul George missed games at the beginning of the season. Then he was missing games towards late in the season because I think he was having an issue. I think it was with his hamstring at some point. And Patrick Beverley had the same issue too. Remember, Patrick Beverley, I don't even think played. I think he missed some games in the bubble, and I don't think he played the entire playoffs for the Clippers. That's a problem, right? It is a serious problem. So let me just tell you guys something. Check this out for a second. The Clippers so far, they've played 50 games this season. The Clippers have played 50 games, right? That's what they played after last night. Of those 50 games, Patrick Beverley has only played 29 games. Patrick Beverley hasn't even played 30 games. This guy's missed like over 30% of the games that have been played. That's the problem. Paul George has only played 37 games. Paul George has missed 13 games. Patrick Beverley's missed 21 games. Serge Ibaka has missed 11 games. Marcus Morris Sr. has missed 12 games. The problem the Clippers are having is they're not healthy. I don't see. So we spoke about this recently. I've read some comments. Don't worry, just keep leaving your comments. I'm gonna get through all of these comments here. I've read some of your comments, and some people said, "Well, you don't want to force them back too soon. You want to make sure guys are fresh." The problem is, guys are already fresh. I don't see how you can be worn out by not playing. Number one. Number two, I don't see how it helps your team if players are not playing. I don't know how the Clippers are going to be able to build continuity and chemistry when they're not playing. That cannot be a positive. That cannot be a good strategy moving forward. They're about 20. Okay, now they play 50 games. They're 22 games or so. I think it's 72 games. There are 22 games left in the season. There are 22 games left in the season, and guys are missing games left and right. Serge Ibaka, I don't know what's going on with these guys. But there's no way in hell that this team is going to say, okay, you know what? We're going to wait for the last 10 games of the season, and that's when everybody's going to come back, and now all of a sudden we're going to try to put it together in the last 10 games in the season. They're playing with fire. If they're waiting for the last 10, 12 games of the season, and then now that's when we're going to really see what we got. What if somebody gets injured again? This is a problem. Injuries are a problem. Now, let me talk about this. We said this last night in the chat. It was a question that I asked. I'm going to ask you guys. You guys can leave your answer, and you let me know what you guys think. My question was, we were asking yesterday on Dreamerspro Max. For those of you guys who are new in the community here and you don't know what Dreamerspro Max is, Dreamerspro Max is an online sports community that we created. We're planning to make it one of the biggest online sports communities. The place where you can go and chat live during games, come up with basketball content, topics, and discussion that you guys want to talk about, consume content that's not on the channel. If you guys haven't seen content on the channel, we have a lot of exclusive content there and so many other cool things. If you guys want to check that out, we're going to have that linked in the description below, because a lot of people have a lot of questions that you guys can post there on the channel. We can't really do that because, the channel needs to be a little bit more organized. We were talking about this last night during the game. This is one of the features that we have on the Dreamerspro Max. And I was asking a question, and I want to know what you guys think about this. Do y'all think that these players, make sure you hit the like button, guys. Do y'all think that these players will continue to miss games if they were not being paid. Y'all realize that these guys are collecting checks even though they're not playing games. My question is, I was asking myself, I said, what if only they paid you when you were healthy? Do you think guys will come back sooner? Because I just don't understand how you look at Serge Ibaka. I like Serge Ibaka. Serge Ibaka has been injured. They say he has a sore back or tightness in the back. Every time I check, I see Serge at the pool. Serge Ibaka's always posting pictures at the pool. He's always doing photo shoots. I'm like, your team needs you, and you guys are there posting stories at the pool or relaxing or promoting your clothing line. I don't get it. You're being played. The whole reason you're in LA is to play for the Clippers, and guys are not back. I think the Clippers have this kind of nonchalant attitude where they feel like, you know what, we're going to do whatever we want. Guys, we're just going to walk into the playoffs, and all of a sudden, things are just going to work out. I think if these guys were being docked game checks for not playing, I think you will see these guys returning a lot sooner. Sports is the only thing where guys can just be out and somebody can say, I don't feel good. You can say my back hurts and I'm not coming back. And then what are you going to do? You don't know the pain that guy's experiencing. So there's no way for you to verify whether or not he's injured or not. And then next thing you know, the guys have been out. I don't see how the Clippers missing so many key players is supposed to help them. Rajon Rondo's injured. I don't even know how they were able to pull off a trade. I'm not even sure how you can trade for a player that's injured, but Rondo's injured. Rondo hasn't played. I think he's missed the last 3 games for the Clippers. They need him too. Guys, there are only 22 games left in the season. We're in April now. The playoffs begin at the end of May. That's the end of next month. These guys are running out of time, and they're so nonchalant about it. If they don't get healthy, they're not going to win because they're not going to be able to build chemistry, number one. Number two, if they think that they're going to go into the playoffs and beat the Denver Nuggets on one of these teams with Zubac, Reggie Jackson as your point guard, they're going to lose because those teams got better. The Denver Nuggets got better. They didn't get worse. Other teams got better. The Lakers are going to get back. Teams got better. And the Clippers, to me, it just seems like they're just going through the motions. It seems like they're going through the motions. Last night, I listened to the coach. He said, oh, yeah, guys need to be healthy. Just that guys weren't healthy, and that's where we missed a lot of shots. Obviously, you're going to miss a lot of shots when you have a lot of key players out. Clippers can't run their offense in the last 2 minutes. They need a point guard. Reggie Jackson cannot run the offense. Most of the time, he looks like a deer in the headlights. The only thing Reggie Jackson can do is make these bad cross-court passes or try to score for himself. He can't initiate the offense. He can't set up the offense. He can't organize the offense properly. Then you have Kawhi Leonard trying to do it. You had a very questionable late-game substitution pattern I didn't understand last night. So to me, I think it was a lot of strange things that happened last night. So let me get through some of you guys' questions here. So now I'm going to get through some of your questions. Let me see what some of you guys have been saying. So let me see. Okay, onto this. Okay, right. I'm riding with them, but they need to be healthy. Like the Clippers need to be healthy. If they're not healthy, they're not going to win. It's just that simple. Okay, let me see. What other questions do you have? Paul George holds the ball so much. I'm not really sure what you mean as far as he over dribble. Do you think is that what you mean? I'm not sure about that. Yeah, PG looks hurt. Yeah, but the problem is PG's been hurt. Paul George has missed so many games. Are guys waiting to be 100% before they get it? It's not going to happen. Whether or not he comes back now. In the playoffs, guys are still going to be injured. You saw Kyle Lowry 2 years ago. He had something on his hand. Like, guys get injured through the playoffs. So what's going to happen? You're going to have a nagging issue and then say, okay, I don't want to play any playoff games because I'm feeling injured. Guys need to man up, man. Keep in mind Rondo is still coming back. Yes, Rondo's still coming back. The problem is we don't know when. And Patrick Beverley, the team doesn't even release any information on whether or not he's coming back or not. These guys are not good enough as constructed to beat teams. They're just not. You can't expect to win games when 5 of your best players are not playing. It's just not going to work. Yes, Aaron Gordon was a good pickup. I agree with that. They weren't playing aggressive. Kyle Korver said earlier that one thing with Ty Lue is that he likes to yes, I noticed. Yes, I've heard that he likes to reserve certain plays. I think great coaches, they don't reveal all of their plays, defensive sets, offensive sets. I understand that. It's something that I'm hearing about this year, covering the NBA a lot closer, that coaches tend to do that. It's something that I'm understanding. I'm not really sure, again, how that is a benefit when you don't have your key players not healthy to be able to run a lot of those plays. One thing I will say about the Clippers, though, a positive thing I will say about the Clippers. Over the last 9 last games, make sure you hit the like button, guys. We have more people finally coming in. I'll stay in a little bit longer because I see some new people are coming in. So just hit the likes, we can get more people in here. Let's get it to like 200 people so we can get this thing booming. One thing I will say about the Clippers, and I'm going to answer more of your questions. One thing I will say about the Clippers, though, they've really, really, really improved their defense. Let's just be honest about it. They've been playing great defense. Just last night, they held the Denver Nuggets to 101 points, 1 points in that game. That's very good. They've improved their defense a lot, and I think it speaks to the question that you said about holding a lot of things back. I think they've been implementing different defensive sets or whatever schemes or whatever it is that's been helping their defense improve. Number two, I think they've been making a concerted effort to play better defense. Kawhi Leonard has been moving his what on defense now. He's really playing. He's definitely looking like he should definitely make one of those all defensive teams, given how he's been playing defense in the second half of the season. But again, you're going to need more players to play. Like, this injury issue is still a problem, but the Clippers have been playing better defense. Maybe injuries is the main reason Tyronn Lue pulled him off the game. But if that's the case, if injury, this is Francisco's question. If that's the case, why did they bring him back in the game? Is he injured or not? Because they took him out of the game. He was playing well. And then I think with like 2 minutes or 2.5 minutes left, they brought him back in the game. So which one is it? Was he injured or was Reggie? Okay, Donald said Reggie Jackson has no clue how to at all. Reggie Jackson has no idea. If Reggie Jackson was a good, serviceable point guard, he would have been a starting point guard for some other team. He can score. A lot of times it looked like Reggie's even playing street ball, but I don't think Reggie Jackson is the guy that you need to I don't think he's going to be a championship starting point guard to lead you to a championship. I don't think anybody will say Reggie Jackson is a championship. He's a great role player. Kawhi just needs to be in kill mode. Now, this is a good point that you're making. Somebody else said that last night, that why doesn't Kawhi Leonard just go be smart, like just wave guys off and just say, listen, I'm going to take over the offense by myself. I think that at different times, if you watched that game last night, he did that. Like at certain points, he just started getting very aggressive. I think Kawhi Leonard, there's a part of him that he knows he's the best player on that team, but he is yet to really fully embrace that. What do I mean? If you go look at Jordan's numbers and Scottie Pippen's numbers in the regular season, but especially in the playoffs, it wasn't even close. You would see one playoff, Jordan be averaging like 33. Scottie Pippen would be averaging like 18.9, 19 points per game, right? Jordan, the thing I like about Jordan is he wouldn't wait for anybody. He would look at you, and after like 1 or 2 quarters, he'll say, if you guys aren't picking this thing up, I'm taking over the game. And if I need to take 30 shots, that's exactly what I'm doing. I don't care if you end up with 15 points, 12 points. You didn't look aggressive enough in the beginning of the game. That's number one. Number two, if Jordan notices that another player is starting to get going, yeah, he'll let you get 1 or 2 shots, but he's still keeping his foot on your neck. That's why they said he just kept coming and coming and coming. Kawhi Leonard, I've noticed that the moments he really attacks is in that third and second quarter. In the fourth quarter, because of the way they do the substitutions, they usually play him to the end of the third, and then they bring him back in around the 7-minute mark in that fourth quarter. So usually he's cooled down. They used to bring Kobe back in around that 8-minute mark of fourth quarters. Then when he gets in, he now starts going through the flow of the offense. He's a little bit out of rhythm. And then probably within the next 4 to 5 minutes, he starts pressing. But he's already out of the offensive flow of the offense anyway. Another thing is, I've noticed that if you watch that Clippers game, you will see that they had Kawhi Leonard on the floor, and then somehow you will see Terrence Mann end up with the last shot with the shot clock expiring. And I'm saying to myself, how is something like that possible? How is it that this is the shot that this offense is able to generate when you have Kawhi Leonard on the floor, by far their best player, and this is the guy? But the problem is, usually, if they give Kawhi Leonard a live ball, he gets the ball, a double team comes, he passes the ball out of the double team. The Clippers have a problem getting him the ball again. That's one problem. Number two, Reggie Jackson cannot even get Kawhi Leonard when Kawhi posts up. He can't even get him. It's not a post. He can't even get him an entry pass into the post. Most of the times, he can't even. Usually, if you have a taller defender on you and you're trying to get an entry pass in the post and somebody's in the post, if the guy is taller than you, what do? You bounce it off the floor. Reggie doesn't even do that. If he tries for 1 or 2 seconds, he notices he can't do it. He can't get him to pass. They just run him off and they just go to another option on the floor. There are a lot of times Kawhi Leonard is open. Guys just can't hit him. They either can't hit him in his pocket, or they don't hit him on time, or by the time they hit him, the weak side, the strong side is too clogged up. Guys are not moving out of the paint. So by the time you see him with the ball, probably has like 6 or 7 seconds on the shot. Guys are still trying to clear out of the strong side so he can operate. But by the time you know it, defense swarms him. He always ends up taking a bad shot. Also, given the fact that Ivica Zubac does not stretch the floor. Remember, Serge Ibaka stretches the floor. There's no way in hell Nikola Jokic can just anchor himself in the paint with Serge Ibaka there as a threat from the perimeter. Serge can hit that mid-range, a 17-footer, and he can hit a 3. So he can create more space for Kawhi. But Kawhi, by the minute he turns his shoulder, the paint is already clogged up, and you see him taking some type of awkward shot. They don't have any spacing on the floor. And how can you when your best players are injured? Nicholas Batum, he was hot early in the season. Now he's hit or miss. He's not making the same amount of shots that he used to. Let me answer some more of your questions. We got time here. So more people are coming in. So let me answer some more of your questions. Okay, let me just get some. Zubac actually held Jokic in check. No, I think they play better team defense on Nikola Jokic. But the question is, this the Kai Clark. Would you trust Zubac in a 7-game series against the Denver Nuggets when they can game play? Nikola Jokic, it will eat him a lot. Like, Nikola Jokic is way too good. The Clippers have no answer for him until they get Serge Ibaka back. Shannon Sharp is going to have a field day. Yeah, he can have a field day, but Shannon Sharp he's always having a field day, so it's nothing new. Yeah, I think the Clippers will be fine, but they need to get healthy. Make sure you hit the like button, guys, for the new guys in here. The Clippers will be fine, but they need to get healthy. The problem is, when is that going to happen? Every night you check, at least 4 guys are out. And you're like, when is the time going to come when this team will actually be healthy? I don't know when that is. It's a problem. I wish they had another 7-footer. Well, I think that's the reason I think they're going after DeMarcus Cousins. I think they may sign him next week, right? So, because of Serge. Because Serge is there. I don't know what's going on with Serge. Tyronn Lue should have been let go with Doc Rivers. That's something that they're going to have to address at the end of the season. Thoughts about Cousins possibly signing? I think he's a good pickup. I think he's a good backup center. And hopefully the Clippers don't do the mistake that the Lakers did and try to crown him like DeMarcus Cousins is back. That's not what he's brought in there for. I think he's just a good situational big. He can stretch the floor. And who knows, if he's healthy, maybe at times he may be a better replacement for Ivica Zubac. Who knows? Because Serge gives the Clippers something very unique where teams cannot pack the paint. They cannot pack the paint because Serge brings out all of those bigs. So it opens up driving lanes. A lot of times Paul George is getting to the paint and it's just a bunch of bodies. Usually it's his teammates too because the paint is always clogged up. Let me get some other questions. Okay, bro, let's stop the excuses. They don't execute down the stretch. Yes, they don't execute down the stretch because they don't have a great point guard down the stretch. I've said this already. I don't understand why they're not healthy. Me neither. I don't know why they're not healthy. I don't know why the hell Paul George plays scared. Yeah, Paul George, I don't know what's up with Paul George, man. I don't understand what it is with Paul. We were talking about that last night as well. Imagine if Paul George had the temperament of like a Damian Lillard. Imagine how much better he would be. Paul George gets in his head. Sometimes he gets in his head to the point. You saw him miss you saw him miss the layup by himself. Not even a layup. He missed the layup, and then Nicholas Batum was standing there right next to him, and he missed the layup. So I think that's enough said with that. Okay. All right. What else? Any other question? I hope Kawhi isn't injured, doesn't get injured. Okay. I don't think he's going to get injured. What else? It's so sad, bro. Okay, come on, man. You can't worry about those other people's money. Okay, I think that's something else. I'm not sure what that is about. What other questions do y'all got? Way off P. Whatever. Okay. PG better come through these playoffs. You just signed a $200 million contract. You better come through. And listen, I'm not going to defend him this season. Right. And I think he may be one of the reasons, because listen, Paul, imagine if the Clippers got to the final, or imagine if they got to the Western Conference Finals and you're playing against the Lakers. LeBron James is going to be determined. Anthony Davis is going to be determined. Or if we somehow manage to get to the finals, you think that James Harden, who's been licking his chops to get back to another NBA final, you think Kyrie Irving and James and Kevin Durant are going to be having mental lapses in the finals? They will eat you alive, those dudes. So if Paul George is still in his head in the finals, it's going to be a wrap for that team. They need him, and this is my fear, because I don't know if Paul George is going to play like an above above a normal all-star. If he's in there and one game he's getting you like 15, 14 points, and Kawhi Leonard is going off for 35, 39 points, and Paul George is just there, it's not going to work. It's not, and they'll probably end up trading him next year or something like that if he doesn't do well. Rondo has to get PG to believe he's that dude. I agree. Rajon Rondo needs to do that. Make sure you hit the like, guys. We're going to stay on here for 5 more minutes. Okay, we got 170 people. Let's try to get it to 200. Let me just make sure I get as many questions that you have. Okay, why is Serge sending out sexy photos? That's the point I don't understand about Serge Ibaka. I don't understand, if you're injured, how you have time to be on. Okay, let me ask you guys a question. Imagine if you're on on sick leave, right? You took off work. You say, I'm sick. I'm not coming up to work. But yet you're on Instagram posting story. Today we went to the beach. But I thought you were sick. Now you're at the beach. What happened? I thought you were sick. And you're still being paid. If I was an employer, I'll be irked as hell that I still have to pay you, yet you're not here to help the team. And that's the reason I brought you here. I don't know what's up with Serge. I love Serge. I like Serge. I love what he brings. But come on, man, get back to the court. Why is our clutch performance? The clutch performance is bad because Reggie Jackson is the point guard. That's why. The Nets will probably win the championship. The Nets have a good chance, but we got to see. I think something that we're overlooking is that KD hasn't been back. Media's not talking about it enough. KD hasn't been back. Right now, Kevin Durant is in the media for the wrong things. Y'all saw the comment that he had, the back and forth that he had with Michael Rapaport. I was shocked that KD was talking like that. I didn't know he was that raw when he talks. I didn't know that. Where should Kawhi go next season? I don't know, man. It's too soon to say. Serge has a side gig as a gigolo. Okay. No defense Clippers. Okay. I don't know what that means. All right. Let me just add. I'll take a few more questions before we go off here. We've been on here for about almost half an hour. We need, I hope Kawhi doesn't get injured. Okay. Should Kawhi go to the Knicks? No, man. He shouldn't go to the Knicks, man. I don't think he should go to the Knicks. Kawhi will be deadly in the clutch with Rondo. Yes, but when? When are we going to see Rajon Rondo is the question. I'll answer a few more. Any other questions that you got? Do you think we should have traded Paul George? That's a good question. If the Clippers traded Paul George, who would they trade him for? Or the reverse is, what team that has a superstar would be willing to get rid of their superstar for Paul George? What team is that? The Portland Trailblazers ain't switching out no damn Damian Lillard for Paul George. The Lakers ain't trading LeBron for Paul George. I don't think the Phoenix Suns are going to trade Devin Booker for Paul George. So who? That's the question. Where would you, Kato? Where do you? Okay, Paul. Okay, I'll answer 1 and 2. When will Rondo play? I have no idea. What are we gonna do about Patrick Beverley? He's missed 40% of the season. I have no idea. I don't know what to say with Pat, man. PG is the wild card. Yes, he is. What else? Russell Westbrook? Hell no. Russell Westbrook? Hell no, man. You saw how Russell Westbrook played with Kevin Durant. It didn't work out there. I don't think Russell Westbrook is a great decision maker. Like, he gets a lot of assists, but I wouldn't trust him to be a championship point guard. Who are the 5 best big men in today's NBA in order? Okay, this will be the last question I'll answer. The best big men, I think the best big man in the NBA is Joel Embiid. And then I say, because Joel Embiid, he's just physically imposing. Like, he can do everything, right? I think Nikola Jokic, you can put a body on him. You can put Dwight Howard. You can put somebody on him and kind of throw him off rhythm, but you can't do nothing. You can't do anything like that with Joel Embiid. I'll put Joel Embiid, Nikola Jokic. I would probably put Anthony Davis as the number 3. And then who's the other guys that I'm missing? They got some really good big men out there. There's a guy that plays for the Indiana Pacers. I forgot his name. Who else would that? I'm not sure. Those are the main guys I can think of. Bradley Beal for Paul George? Nah, man. I wouldn't make that trade. I'll answer the last question. Jokic and Embiid neck and neck. Yeah, it's a tough one. It's a pick 'em, whatever you guys want. AD better than both of them. That's a good. AD is just as talented as them, but better? Okay, let me ask you the question. Who would you rather have to be the number one option on your team? Anthony Davis or Joel Embiid? I think most people would pick Embiid. Who else? Any other questions? Okay, Beal is a volume shooter, yes. PG for Mexican for whatever. We should save our. Okay, so I think I've answered everybody's question. I think I pretty much answered everybody's question. If you guys have any more other questions, if you enjoyed some basketball debates, make sure you check out our Dreamerspro Max. We're going to have that linked in the description below. I've already explained to you guys. You can start basketball discussions, go live during games. There should be a great game this weekend if you guys want to be on there, and so many other cool things. Also, be a part of monthly giveaways. We're doing that as well. So make sure you guys check that out and get 7 days of access, free access. I'm sure you guys are going to enjoy it. And then, yes, avail it. Yes, I agree that. Yes, and exactly. I agree with what you just said. Okay, guys. So Nets versus Clippers, who wins? I would say Nets right now, especially with PG playing like this. And I don't know what the Clippers have right now. I don't know what Paul George and these guys are doing. So I would say the Nets right now. So what I want to know from you, once again, thank you guys for your attention. Hopefully we got some more people into this live. Usually we don't. Laker Nation, I see you was good. Hopefully we got more people into this live. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Thank you guys for your attention. We really appreciate it and appreciate all the support that you're giving us the channel. And we'll definitely catch you guys on the next episode. Also, make sure you guys have a great weekend and stay safe. Make sure you guys have a great weekend and stay safe. And I'll definitely catch you guys on the next episode. Have a great weekend, guys. Peace out. Peace, 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 peace.